Retirement is all about cash flow. It's all about how much income do you have coming in and how much do you have going out in expenses. And one of the most important decisions people have is when they retire, for many people, is will they take a lump sum rollover from their current employer, or will they take the pension amount? And in today's video, what I want to do is show you the financial planning tool, how we use the retirement budget calculator, as well as a spreadsheet that we've developed to help make sure that we're making this decision about a lump sum versus a pension in the context of a comprehensive retirement cash flow plan, and that we're not simply doing a present value formula and then assuming, what rate of return could we earn on your money. There's obviously pros and cons of either decision, whether you take the lump sum or the annuity, but you got to make the right decision for you. And so I'm going to take you through the process that we like to use to help people make this decision. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so as we're trying to understand whether to take the lump sum rollover or the pension as you're getting ready to retire, we start out by using the retirement budget calculator to build a comprehensive retirement cash flow plan. We want to know how much guaranteed income are you going to have coming in, and we want to know what your expenses are going out. And then on the future view of this tool, we can start to model it out. We can get some idea of what your taxes are going to be, what your portfolio withdrawals are going to be, and what rate of return your money is going to grow, his life expectancy, her life expectancy, and have some idea of how the plan's going to work. And what we like to do is, in this scenario, we create two different models. So we're saying he takes a partial lump sum and then also has pension, or he does no lump sum and takes a full pension. Once we create the cash flow plans, then we use our spreadsheet to take a deeper dive into some of these questions and to really help us understand, in which scenario are we going to end up in the best position. Now, I will tell you, I have never had anybody complain about having too much guaranteed income in retirement. But there are drawbacks, and there's a lot of things we need to be thinking about, such as you've got inflation, longevity, you've got what rate of return will you earn on your money? Are you equipped to manage investments if you choose the lump sum? Will you take a spousal or a survivor annuity, or will it be a lifetime only? Is it important for you to leave anything to the next generation or to your heirs or to your beneficiaries? Is it important for you to be doing tax planning as you're heading into retirement? And whether you take the lump sum or the annuity could impact how much flexibility you have around paying taxes. And is it important to have anything left over for the kids, or are you of the mindset, that you just want to make sure that you're going to be in a good position and you've already helped the kids? I mean, we see this both ways. So in this scenario, what we're assuming is we've got two people that are 62 years old, and they have the option. They can either take a pension, straight pension with no lump sum, and it would generate about $8,000 a month of guaranteed income for the rest of their life. Or they could take a partial lump sum and have $4,000 a month of guaranteed income for the rest of their life, and then receive a lump sum rollover of $672,000. And what we're going to do in this test hypothetical scenario is see which of the two scenarios works out best for them. And in order to do this, we need to make some conservative assumptions about life expectancy, about rates of return, and about inflation, and about their budget. And so there's a lot of pieces that go into really trying to analyze this lump sum versus annuity decision. But let me take you through what we've done in this test scenario. Once we create our baseline model about income and expenses in the retirement budget calculator, then what we do is we come in here and we copy that model by clicking this button right here. And down here, you'll see we have a new model. Start Social Security at 62, this time with no lump sum and the full pension. So if we click on this estimate, all the information is exactly the same, but the one difference being, now you'll notice they have $8,000 a month of pension with no lump sum. And so this is the information that we need. We need to create two models that we can compare with one another to help us understand in which scenario are they going to come out the best. One of the things that we don't know when trying to make this decision is life expectancy. So you can see we like to look at these numbers two ways. One is we use average life expectancy based on the Social Security mortality tables. So in this case, he would be 82, she would be 85. But then we also create a model to say if each of them lives to 100, in which scenario would they come out best. So we want to test it a couple of different ways as we're doing our analysis. A couple of other key numbers that are important from the retirement budget calculator that we use to feed into the spreadsheet is what's their secure income score. And what the secure income score does is it compares the amount of guaranteed income they have, so things like pension and Social Security, guaranteed income compared to all of their essential expenses over two people's lifetimes. And that gives us this secure income score. In this case, it would be 83% of their essential expenses are covered by guaranteed income if they take the straight line annuity. Another thing that we assume is rates of return. And so in this model, you can see we're assuming that their money's growing at a pretty conservative 2% on cash and 4% on growth accounts. And then on the Future View tab in the Retirement Budget Calculator, you'll notice that we have some other reporting options. We can say that we're looking at all expenses or only essential expenses. So we always want to have all expenses checked initially. And then we want to look at what's the withdrawal change percentage. And then down here, you'll notice we have the ability, in any year where there's a surplus, we can either spend the surplus, or we can save the surplus, or we can invest the surplus. And what do I mean by a surplus? So you can see this first year of retirement, they have a shortfall of $15,304. Whenever there's a shortfall, what we're assuming is that they're having to take money out of their savings account to make up for that shortfall. But you'll notice in the following year at 63, now they have a surplus, $6,954. They have more money coming in than their budget says is required. So in years when they have a surplus, what do we want to do with that surplus? Do we want to spend it, save it, or invest it? And you'll see where that comes into play here in the spreadsheet. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we want to do in the spreadsheet. First of all, if he's 62 years old and he's going to live to age 82, and in this scenario, we're saying that he's going to take this he's going to take the partial lump sum and the $4,000 a month. Well, you can see over here, if he's taking $48,000 a year, $4,000 a month, and he's going to take that for 20 years, he's going to end up taking $960,000 over that time period. And this right here is a future value calculation to tell us that, if he lives to 82, he's going to have $960,000 that would have been paid out to him. If he takes the lump sum, though, we want to understand the present value of that $960,000. And the present value is this formula here that tells us we have to discount this $960,000 by some interest rate because we can assume that they're going to earn something on their money. So in this case, we're using the 10-year Treasury rate to discount those future cash flows. And that's why the lump sum is $672,000. It's a combination of looking at his age and life expectancy and some type of safe rate of return. In this case, we're just going to use 10-year Treasury rates as our discount rate. And that gives us a present value of those future income streams of $672,300. So we know that if he lives to age 82 and he takes the $4,000 a month, it would pay out $960,000. If he takes the lump sum, he's going to get $672,300 because the insurance company or the company that pays out the lump sum is going to reduce that for this interest rate that we can assume. The other thing that we want to do is with this $672,300, we want to say, is this $4,000 per month a good deal? And so what we do is we go out and we request quotes from several different insurance carriers, and that gives us this arbitrage. We just want to say, hey, if we were to take this lump sum of $672,300 and just go buy our own annuity, could we get more than what the company's offering? And in this case, you'll notice that the $4,000 per month is better than what we could get in the private annuity marketplace. That's typically the case, but sometimes I find that the private insurance companies do offer a higher payout rate than the company. So you always want to look to see, are you really getting the best deal? The next thing that we want to look at is how much of the annuity would be covered under the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. So assuming that this is a private company that's participating in the PBGC, there's the secondary benefit. And I've met with pilots in years past where they had a pension and then their company filed for bankruptcy. and the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation had to step in, and not all of the pension that they had been receiving from their previous employer was covered under the PBGC, so they took a pretty sizable reduction in the amount of guaranteed income they have coming in. So one of the things we want to look at is if they were to take that straight pension amount, that $8,000 a month, the higher pension, assuming they don't take any lump sum, how much of that is covered by the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation based on the current values. And you can see the PBGC in this particular situation is $5,333, which is about 67%. So there's a risk for them to take the straight line pension. Now, if they take the partial lump sum, and we change this to $4,000, you can see now the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation covers 100% of this risk. So in their case, one of the things that they can do is de-risk what happens if the company that we work for goes into bankruptcy and can't make good on their pension payments. And this is one of the reasons that you want to look at the financial strength of the pension that's being offered to you. Now, the other thing is, you'll notice over here we have the secure income score. And so what we did in the retirement budget calculator, coming back over to the dashboard, is we said, what is their secure income score if they take the pension, which is the 83%? And then we said, what is their secure income score if they take the partial lump sum, which is 60%. So you can see we've set the benchmark at 80%, saying that if 80% of your essential expenses are covered by guaranteed income, that's a pretty strong position to be in heading into retirement. And so we just reference both of those secure income scores here. So over here, what we're looking at is this assumes they take the lump sum, and we assume that they either spend the surplus, save the surplus, or invest the surplus, and we base it on the second person's life expectancy. So one of the things you'll notice in this scenario, we're assuming that they do not take a survivor benefit, that in this case on his pension, there's no survivor benefit selected, and he's going to have $4,000 a month, but that income is going to end on his life expectancy over here. When we look at the spreadsheet, we say, what's the value of their accounts at the second person's life expectancy, assuming they don't live to age 100. So this is just using average life expectancy. So if they take the lump sum and their money's only growing at 4% per year, you can see this is what the ending balance would be at the second person's life expectancy. And then if we were to look at age 100, so assuming that the second person lives to age 100, you can see they've depleted the portfolio down all the way to zero. And then we average all of the outcomes. So we take all 6 of these numbers and average them to see what's the total. 646,000 is the average of all of the different scenarios. Down here, this is where they take the pension. And then, of course, again, we run 3 different scenarios to see, do they spend the surplus, invest a surplus, or save the surplus. And you can see if they live to life expectancy, they actually have less money at life expectancy than they would if they had taken the lump sum. But if they live to age 100, and that's again what a pension is, what an annuity is, it's longevity insurance. So in the event that they live a long time, you can see they actually end up in a better situation in that scenario. So this is the trade-off. If you live to life expectancy, you would have been better off with the lump sum. And if you live to age 100, you would have been better off taking the annuity. And we don't know, but one of the risks you face is how long are you going to live? And with medicine, science, and technology getting better and better all the time, we have to be thinking that there could be a possibility that you're going to live a really long time. So this MetLife study says, look what it says. Today, 1 in 3 retirees, 34%, who took the lump sum from their defined contribution plan, depleted the lump sum within 5 years. That's pretty shocking. So if there's a tendency, if you have a tendency to overspend, taking the annuity can create some guardrails for you, can help you avoid this risk of outspending your money. The biggest risk people have as they're getting ready to retire is, have we saved enough, and are we going to run out of money in retirement? And taking the annuity can help you alleviate that risk. And if you tend to overspend, it can help you avoid this risk of spending too much at the onset of retirement. In summary, it's, again, important to remember that retirement is really an exercise in cash flow. It's about making sure that you have enough income coming in to cover all of your expenses. And at the end of the day, retirement is all about income and expenses. It's not about your net worth. And so for many people, taking the pension would be the best option. For some people, taking the lump sum would be the better option. It just really depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. But what I really want to emphasize and stress is that you don't want to make this decision isolated from all the rest of your financial life. You want to make the decision in the context of a comprehensive retirement cash flow plan where you're looking at all of these different things that contribute: inflation, rates of return, what other guaranteed income do you have, what's your spending, what's your personality type, are you going to be comfortable managing a large sum of money if you take the lump sum? Are you going to be comfortable with the risks associated with that? And once you do the complete analysis, then you'll be able to sleep better at night knowing that you're making the best decision for your specific situation. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks so much.